This is problem number 3 for assessment number 6. In this problem it says solve the equation and it gives you a quadratic. And we need to remember that we have really 4 different ways to solve quadratics. We can factor them, we can complete the square, we can use the quadratic equation, then we can use square roots. Square roots is out for this problem because we have a middle term of 2x. So it's really between factoring, completing the square, and the quadratic equation. When I look at the factors of 4, the factors of 4 break down to be 1 and 4 and 2 and 2. 1 and 4 add to 5, 2 and 2 add to 4. Neither of those is 2, which is the middle term, so factoring's out. Now I've said before that if a equals 1, we want to try and factor. If we can't factor, then we look at b. Is b even? If b is even, that's when we want to complete the square. And this is like the only time we want to complete the square, otherwise we'll probably just use a quadratic formula. So if we're going to complete the square for this problem, because we have a being 1 and b is even, we start by, and I'm just going to say CS for complete the square, we start by taking 2, middle term, divided by 2, and square it, which is 1 squared, which is 1. And now we're going to add the 1 in, so we get x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus 4 minus 1 equals 0. So we just added in the 1 and we subtract the 1, didn't change anything. This trinomial is factorable now. What are the factors of 1? Well, the factors of 1 are 1 and 1. And they both add to 2, right? 1 and 1 adds to 2. So we're going to write this as x plus 1, and then we have we have plus 3. 4 minus 1 here, this will just say plus 3 here, equals 0. This gives you x plus 1 times x plus 1, which is x plus 1 squared plus 3 equals 0. Now we're going to subtract the 3 over and we get x plus 1 squared equals negative 3. And we'll square root each side. Now you'll notice we're going to get some complex numbers here. We're going to get some imaginary numbers. When we take the square root here, this cancels, so we have x plus 1 equals, and the square root of negative 3 we know is just I, so we'll say plus and minus, I root 3, right? Because we got this radical negative 3 is really radical negative 1 times radical 3, and we know radical negative 1 is I, so we end up with I root 3 there. And we have to say the plus and minus because anytime you take the radical of something, there's a positive or negative way to get the original number. Last step, we're going to subtract the 1, and when we subtract the 1, we end up with x equals, so we'll subtract 1, x equals negative 1 plus and minus I root 3. Now let's split it, so it's x equals negative 1 plus I root 3, or x equals negative 1 minus I root 3. These are the solutions. And they're the complex solutions. And remember, degree 2 tells us the max number of solutions that we can have is 2, so we have 2 complex solutions, 0 real solutions.